One day, after a long day of fishing, Niko came to visit Liana at the market. He had something important on his mind. He had thought about it for many days, and now he was ready to speak. Liana greeted him with a smile. "Hi, Niko. How was your day?" Niko smiled back, but his eyes were serious. "It was good, but there's something I need to talk to you about, Liana." Liana noticed the change in his tone. "What's wrong?" Niko took a deep breath. "I've been thinking about us. I care about you a lot, Liana. I've never met anyone as kind and strong as you. I want to spend my life with you. I want to ask for your hand in marriage." Liana's eyes widened and her heart raced. She hadn't expected this. "You want to marry me?" she asked, her voice soft. "Yes," Niko said, looking into her eyes. "I want to be with you, to build a life together. I know it's a big step, but I can't imagine my life without you." Liana felt a warmth in her chest. She had grown fond of Niko, but this was a big decision. She needed to think about it carefully. "I'm honored, Niko, but I need to talk to my family first. It's important to me that we all understand what this means." Niko nodded, understanding. "Of course, take your time. I'll be here, waiting for your answer." Liana smiled. "Thank you for being so patient with me." That evening, Liana sat with her family. Her brothers were there, listening quietly as she told them about Niko's proposal. They were surprised, but they could see the happiness in Liana's eyes. Shano spoke first. "Liana, we've seen how happy he makes you. If you want this, we will support you. You deserve to be happy." Toro nodded. "I agree. If Niko is the one who makes you smile, then we are happy for you." Seifu grinned. "Well, I guess it's about time. You've always been the one looking after us, Liana. Now it's your turn to look after your own happiness." Liana felt her heart swell with love for her brothers. She knew this was the right moment. She would marry Niko, but her family would always be her home. The next few days were filled with quiet reflection. Liana's brothers had accepted her choice to marry Niko, but each of them was still processing the changes. They loved their sister deeply, and it was hard to imagine her starting a new life with someone else. Yet, they all knew that she deserved to be happy, and that was the most important thing. One evening, after dinner, the brothers gathered together in the living room. Liana sat with them, watching them quietly. She had noticed how they had become a little distant since Niko's proposal, and she wanted to make sure everything was okay. Yano, who was always the first to speak his mind, broke the silence. "Liana, we've been talking. want you to know that we support you. If Niko is the one you want to spend your life with, then we're happy for you." Liana smiled softly. "Thank you, Yano. That means a lot to me." Toro, as usual, was quieter, but his words were filled with meaning. "I've been thinking a lot. It's hard to imagine you not living with us, but I know that you have to follow your own path. I just want you to be happy." Liana nodded, feeling a sense of warmth. "I will be happy, and you will always be a part of my life, no matter where I go." Seifu, who had been quiet up until now, looked at his sister with a playful grin. "It's strange, you know. You've always been the one taking care of us. Now it's your turn to take care of yourself. We'll miss you, but we'll be okay. And you'll be happy with Niko, won't you?" Liana's heart filled with emotion as she looked at her brothers. They had always been her support, her strength, and now they were giving her the freedom to follow her heart. "I promise you," she said softly, "I will always be there for you. I may be starting a new life, but I'll never forget where I come from." The brothers smiled, their hearts lighter than they had been before. They realized that true love meant letting go, trusting that Liana would always be part of the family, no matter where life took her. The next step was to talk to Liana's mother, Amira. Liana knew that this conversation would be important. Her mother had always been her guide, and now it was time to ask for her blessing. The sun was setting, and the warm golden light filled the room as Liana and her mother sat together. Amira was busy preparing dinner, but Liana could see that her mother was waiting for the right moment to speak. "Mother, I need to talk to you about something," Liana began, her voice steady but filled with emotion. Amira looked at her daughter, sensing that this was a serious conversation. "What is it, my dear?" she asked, wiping her hands on her apron. Liana took a deep breath. "Niko has asked for my hand in marriage. He wants to spend his life with me." Amira's eyes softened, a smile forming on her lips. She had seen the way Niko treated Liana, how he respected her and made her happy. "I've seen how much you care for him. I think he's a good man, Liana." Liana's heart fluttered. "But do you think it's the right time? Will you support me?" Amira reached out and took Liana's hands in hers. "I want you to be happy. If Niko makes you happy, then I will support you. A mother's love doesn't change, no matter what happens. I will always be here for you." Liana felt a wave of relief wash over her. "Thank you, Mother. I was so afraid you might not agree." Amira smiled warmly. "You are my daughter, and I want what's best for you. You have always been kind and strong, Liana. If this is what you want, then I will bless your marriage." Liana's eyes filled with tears. She hugged her mother tightly, feeling a deep sense of gratitude. "I love you, Mother. Thank you for understanding." "I love you too, my dear," Amira said softly. "Go, live your life, and know that I will always be here, no matter where you are." With her mother's blessing and the support of her brothers, Liana knew that she was ready to begin a new chapter of her life. The next few days were filled with excitement as she and Niko made plans for their wedding. It was a simple ceremony, with friends and family gathered to celebrate their love. The village was alive with the sounds of preparation. Liana's brothers helped Niko with the preparations, and even though they had their own worries, they were happy to see their sister so joyful. The village women helped with the decorations, and the marketplace was filled with fresh flowers and sweet smells. On the day of the wedding, the sun was bright and warm, casting a golden glow over everything. Liana stood in her simple wedding dress, her heart beating faster with every moment. She looked out at the gathering crowd of family and friends. Her mother stood beside her, a proud smile on her face, while her brothers stood behind her, their faces filled with love and support. When Niko arrived, Liana's heart skipped a beat. He looked handsome, his eyes filled with love as he walked toward her. The ceremony was simple but beautiful, with everyone watching as Liana and Niko exchanged vows. "I promise to love you," Niko said, his voice filled with sincerity, "to care for you and to always stand by your side." Liana smiled, her eyes sparkling with emotion. "I promise to love you too, to be with you, to support you, and to build a life together." As they kissed, the crowd cheered, and Liana felt her heart swell with happiness. This was the beginning of a new life, one where she could continue to be herself, but also create something new with Niko. After the wedding, Liana and Niko moved into a small house near the sea. It was a peaceful place, with the sound of the waves crashing against the shore. Liana loved it there. She was starting a new life with Niko, but she never forgot her family. Every week, Liana visited her mother and brothers. They would sit together, laugh, and share stories. It was a new kind of happiness, one where the family was growing, but the love they shared remained strong. Liana's brothers, too, began to follow their own paths. Jano took on the responsibility of the village farm, ensuring that the land stayed healthy and productive. Toro found a quiet spot near the woods where he could think and work. And Sefu traveled to nearby villages, sharing his ideas with others. Though their lives were changing, the bond between them remained as strong as ever. They knew that no matter where life took them, they would always be there for each other. As the years went by, Liana and Niko built a life filled with love, laughter, and happiness. They had children of their own, and the family grew larger. But no matter how much time passed, the love and kindness that Liana had brought to the village never faded. She had taught her brothers and her village that love was not about holding on too tightly, but about letting go and encouraging each other to grow. And so, Liana's story became a story of love, family, and the courage to follow your heart.